Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. We have some AI news to discuss. Let's jump into it. All right, first off, the biggest news of the day is the spring update from OpenAI. Today, OpenAI announced their new model, ChatGPT 4o. The main feature of this model is it basically collapses several steps into one. So in previous models, when you would interact with the model, there would be separate steps to transcribe the input into text, ingest any vision input, transform the input into a response, and then generate a voice response. In this new model coming out over the next few weeks, all those steps are collapsed into one, so it's a much more seamless, quick interaction, much more natural. I think people are going to like that. They did several demos. One of the demos included also what they announced as a new desktop app. This app can see your screen, you can ask it questions, and it can assist with tasks. They did a demo around code, asking ChatGPT to explain code and explain sections of code, which it did very well. They also did a demo for using the voice capability where they talk to the model in a certain manner, and the model was able to detect kind of the emotional state of the user and was able to respond back in a certain emotional way based on what the user was requesting. They also did a vision demo where using an iPhone, they were able to take a video of a handwritten linear equation, and then the model was able to step-by-step help the user solve the equation. And then the last demo was pretty good. Was translation to and from English and Italian. So just listening to the conversation, when the model heard Italian, it would translate it to English, and when it would hear English, it would translate it to Italian. So very robust capability. I think this is big news for ChatGPT, big news for OpenAI. Again, it seems like they are leading the pack in the AI world. It'll be interesting to see how users make use of this. And honestly, I think one of the biggest watchers of this demo needs to be Apple. I mean, a lot of what they showed today were things that Siri could do. And I'm going to guess that Apple is way behind. Perhaps these features are going to be built into Siri, and we will see that. This was an early demo of the new Siri that we're going to see at Worldwide Developers Conference here in June. We will see. Here we have an article from Nina Kindly at the Wall Street Journal that discusses how exactly German companies will make use of AI. Before we get into it, just a little background. For those that aren't aware, Germany is basically the manufacturing base of Europe. Cars, everybody knows BMWs, Mercedes, etc. Chemicals, machinery, pharmaceuticals, so big industry. That's the German economy. All right, so let's start here. So, quote, from automating processes to optimizing supply chains, German companies are resorting to AI tools for a growing range of functions. The technology is expected to make work more efficient by cutting repetitive tasks and freeing employees up for new, higher value jobs. I highlighted this because I think it's interesting. You see this in a lot of AI articles, freeing people up for higher value jobs. First of all, my question is, what are those higher value jobs? Like, I think it would be helpful to be specific. And secondly, if someone was capable of doing the higher value job, why aren't they doing it now? Right? It would be a win for everyone if that person was doing that job, if they were capable of it. I think this is a bit of a spin to try to deflect away from, we're going to lay people off, which is always happens in business whenever there's innovation of any type, artificial intelligence or not. It's just something that I think they don't want to say, and that's okay. But I'll continue. However, Noble says it's almost impossible to predict how the company will use AI in 5 years' time, given how fast the technology evolves. Many German companies are at an experimental stage regarding AI, said Inga Fechner, ING senior economist for Germany. And then I'll skip down a little bit. For individual companies, it makes sense to invest in AI, but it's hard to see a boom at the macroeconomic level, at least in the next 2 to 3 years, said ING's Fechner. It won't be this huge game changer in terms of productivity if you consider the positive effects and negative effects. So I think this article demonstrates the lack of a fully realized killer application for AI in the manufacturing sector at this point in time. AI isn't going to build the car. I don't think you're going to see people trusting AI to place the order for the next 1,000 tons of cold rolled sheet to build the next, BMWs for the next week. I don't think that's going to happen. So I think this is a little bit of cold water on the AI party, at least, being specific in the manufacturing space. All right, next we have an article from Danny Goodwin at Search Engine Land. Google search results without SGE jumped to 65%, up from 25%. So SGE, Search Generative Experience. This is where Google's using AI to summarize or answer questions based on information retrieved from the search. This has major sites spooked. It could drastically reduce their inbound traffic and with that probably their revenue. The headline here is interesting that Google search results without, I'll just say the AI experience, jumped to 65%, up from 25%. So they're actually reducing the amount of results that have AI content with it. And they're also, if you scroll down here, and there's some other information, the link will be in the description. They're also reducing the amount on the page that it has I'll just say the page real estate for this content. So it's not really what you'd expect based on all the, I'll just say AI hype that we see in the media. So what could this mean? Could mean that this AI experience is very expensive to generate computationally for each user. Maybe it's unwarranted. They haven't found a way to optimize it and make it economical. It could be that it's a poor experience that users don't like. Maybe they're getting feedback from users that the summaries or the answers are not good. This experience could be negatively impacting their search revenue, meaning that users that get this experience are less likely to click on an ad. So they saw potentially a negative revenue impact. Whatever the case, none of these things sound very good for Google right now. AI is an existential threat to Google's business. Their search business is over half of their revenue. They have to get AI right. And this development from the outside looks troubling. Maybe from an inside perspective, there is a rationale, but certainly doesn't look great. That's all I have for you today. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.